Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Well, if you ever needed more proof that the Democrat base is made up of the most easily manipulated, low-information voters in the country, then look no further, just take a look at what's happening in Maine and the way that this is being signal boosted. It's absolutely insane that these people look down on us and condescend, waving their fancy degrees that they're $200,000 in debt for, making the argument that they're so much smarter, so much better at critically thinking. They're the party of science, the party that really understands what's going on. And you, the Trump voter, are an uneducated buffoon who's simply peddling in conspiracy theories, says the people who, for some reason, can't ever even get past the frickin' headline. I mean, how many fake stories have we covered this week? And now we've got this coming out of Maine. Governor Janet Mills is out here doing a full-on victory lap, making it seem as if she just KO'd Donald Trump in federal court. Yeah, remember this viral moment from the start of Donald Trump's presidency?
Your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports, so you better comply, because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good, I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one.
When she told him that she'd see him in court, well, now she's making the claim that she won. Game over, she's single-handedly defended democracy from Trump-style fascism. And the liberal drones, they're simply eating it up with absolutely no critical thought whatsoever. But of course, if you have more than two brain cells to rub together, you realize instantly that she's gaslighting her leftist audience. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on here. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so basically you saw the clip earlier. Donald Trump signed an executive order saying boys cannot compete in female sports, and of course she was standing against that order, rejecting his federal authority, and so Trump responded by, well, we're gonna pull funding from your state until you comply, and she said, we'll see you in court, and now she's saying this.
A few months ago, I stood in the White House, and when confronted by the President of the United States, I told him I'd see him in court. Well, I did see him in court, and we won. I am so pleased to say that Aaron Fry's able representation of the state of Maine has resulted in a binding agreement by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, whereby they agree to refrain from freezing, terminating, or otherwise interfering with the state of Maine's access to USDA funds allocated to any official or agency or department of the state of Maine based on alleged violations of Title IX.
So she's declaring a total victory for the state of Maine versus Donald Trump because she got back $3 million in frozen USDA nutrition funds. Well, there it is. She won. She officially beat Trump. Except no, when you actually read into the details, they got the funds because they dropped a massive lawsuit. It's not a win, and nothing has actually been ruled on. Basically, the state agreed that they would back off from their lawsuit against the Department of Agriculture, and in exchange, the feds released $3 million in funds. That's it. $3 million for one specific program. This isn't some big win, and it literally has nothing to do with the issue at hand. The whole contention between these two figures was on the issue of Trump's executive order banning biological boys from competing in girls' sports. Well, guess what? The legal challenge when it comes to transgender athletes in Title IX is still very much alive. Trump's DOJ and the Department of Education are moving forward with a separate lawsuit against the state of Maine for violating federal education rules. And wrapped up in that lawsuit is over $250 million in annual federal education funding. This Department of Agriculture and USDA deal has nothing to do with the issue at hand. So no, Janet, and no mindless Democrats who simply just buy this stuff hook, line, and sinker, you didn't win. And in fact, in the unfreezing of this $3 million in funds, you had to give something up. You had to surrender. You had to drop a lawsuit in order to get that released. But of course, facts be damned, here she is, pumping her fists, and these leftoids seem to be tripping over themselves as they fawn over her excellence. Oh, what a real hero against fascism. It's the same frickin' song and dance every time, and obviously it's a grift. I'm pretty sure Janet Mills is just playing the game. It's all performance. Let's drop the lawsuit, get that $3 million unfrozen, and then we could pretend as if we've scored some massive victory against the Trump people. Oh, our mindless, low-information, uneducated voters will definitely go for it and cheer us on. And of course, just as predicted, that's exactly what happened. It's absolutely unbelievable how we're constantly in this situation of phony headlines and narratives and the Democrat base just buying it. No critical thinking whatsoever. And actually, that's got me thinking of a James Carville clip that's going viral all over social media. The old Democrat fossil gets up and claims the Democrats can't lie like Republicans because their people wouldn't stand for it.
People say to me all the time, James, why don't we just do like the Republicans do? Just stand up and lie. Because our people wouldn't stand for it. If I stood up and lied, you would be the first person to say, James Carville lost all credibility last night when he said X, Y, and Z. Yeah, I can spin, I can shade. Everybody does that. They just look you right in the eye and lie. And then our people say, well, we ought to lie like them. No, we shouldn't. Because they would not do that. It would not go over well.
Is this old kook seriously saying that? Your voter base buys the lie, buys the phony narrative, hook, line, and sinker without any thought or challenge every single time. Ooh, Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation. Donald Trump is colluding with the Russians. Ooh, my pee-pee tape. Ooh, did you hear that Donald Trump wants to throw away the Constitution? Did you hear that Donald Trump deported a 2-year-old American citizen? Ooh, did you hear the news? The Democrat Maine Governor Janet Mills won her lawsuit against the Trump administration. It's lie after lie. And actually, speaking of these lies, we've got another one. James Carville's telling us we can't lie to our voters like Republicans do, because I guess Democrat voters are so smart and they'd find it out immediately. Meanwhile, Eric Swalwell just said this.
All right, you're not going to believe this. I'm just outside the House Judiciary Committee. I'm stunned that I have to tell you this. Republicans just voted, every single one of them, to allow Donald Trump to deport U.S. citizens. Not like deport unlawful, violent immigrants. No. They just voted in our committee to allow Donald Trump to deport U.S. citizens. That's where this is going.
This guy just went on camera with a straight face and said Republicans voted to allow Trump to deport Americans. And everybody just bought it. Well, all the leftoids did. But of course, instantly when you hear something like that, alarm bells start to go off in your head and you start to think, wait, what's the actual story? And then, of course, when you look into it, Democrats introduced a redundant amendment to a bill that would essentially restate something that's already illegal, that ICE can't detain or deport American citizens. And Republicans voted the amendment down, not because they want to deport citizens, but because it's unnecessary, and it was written supposedly in a way that would complicate enforcement operations. ICE does not and cannot legally deport citizens already, and if a citizen is ever wrongfully detained, it's an operational mistake, it's not policy. It was a useless amendment that served no purpose other than to grandstand, and really I think it was a bait, where Democrats introduced that amendment, and then when Republicans said, yeah, we're not going to vote for that, it gave them the opportunity to then do what? Lie, blatantly lie, just to get the headline that Republicans want to allow ICE to deport American citizens. Stupid, absolutely stupid. Yet we have people like James Carville claiming that, oh, Democrats never lie because our people would never stand for it. Give me a frickin' break. The Democrat Party is the most dishonest party in modern politics, probably in Western politics, and Democrat voters are the most gaslit and propagandized voters, probably in the modern world, and time again, they prove it. Ooh, Elon Musk is coming after my grandma's social security check, and Donald Trump's gonna go after black people next. Remember that one? Yeah, okay. Just turn the TV off, Karen. MSNBC is not helping. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.